Okay, so for the first question of what are things you should be looking at the ideal kindergarten for your child, I would say like a lot of hands-on activities because I knew I would want my child to be involved because some kids are visual learners and some are like more like just like kind of like just set the paper in front of them and they can do it. But I'm a visual learner, so I know some people are like different, but I mean, it can help students understand like different topics of like math and science and stuff like that. Cause like for math, you can have like little blocks or like counters, like rulers and stuff like that. And then for science, you can have like magnifying glasses or like when you're doing labs and stuff like that, like weather tools and like going outside to take a temperature or like doing something with plants and stuff like that, or like and for nature. And then another thing is having like a cozy, welcoming environment. Because I feel like for the child and parent to be comfortable enough to send their child to whatever school that they would choose or I would choose, it's a good feeling to know that you're sending your child off to somewhere that's very pleasant. You know, not just like nothing on the walls, like no welcoming, anything like that. And also with that, you can have like bright colors. I mean, because bright colors, like I guess, like help enhance the brain or whatever like that. Puts everyone in a good mood, and then just like a fun and functional place for children to be able to come to and like be happy to go to school instead of dreading and kicking and screaming and being away because they're being away from their parents. So to go to an environment that's safe and feels just as home as it does with your parents at their actual house, it's nice to have that feeling. And which approach did I choose and why? I chose public school kindergarten. And that's because I went to public school and I loved it. And one of the reasons why is because like sports. So I mean, I would want my child to be involved into sports, and I feel like with with any type of private school, it wouldn't be the same as public school sports. And this and just like a more social environment because I know private schools have it's a private school, so it's kind of like just nitpicking. Everyone is, I mean, it's good like family based, I guess, because some of my friends go to an all girls school and they said they loved it because everyone knew who everyone was. But in public school, you have more diversity and you have more like different groups of like experiencing more cultural things. And the last reason would be because of diversity, kind of like I said just a minute ago. Because I mean, that way a child can be like well adjusted for when going into adulthood or going into like college. Because then, I mean, you're going into college from a public school, you're kind of like, whoa, like, who are these people and what's happening? Whereas in public school, you had everyone from all walks of life coming in. You have like all different types of religion. You have Christianity, Buddhism, Catholics, anything like that. Whereas in private school, it's kind of just based on. I mean, you could go to a religious private school like a Catholic school or anything like that, but as in public school, it's just a more diverse group. And the third question of what are the main principles of your choice of kindergarten mentioned above. And one of the principles I said was like a good education, just like a spread of all curriculums, and just a difference in kind of like based on one, whereas in private school it'd be focused on like, I don't know, focused on like certain things, whereas in public school it's kind of like diverse. You have writing classes and math, and I know public schools have those too, but I feel like I mean, private school have those too, but I feel like in public school it's just more kind of like going back to diverse. And then my second one is diversity, for different cultures, and you can also understand the perspective of children from different backgrounds. And I feel like that's just really, I keep talking on that a lot, but I feel like that's just really important because, I mean, everyone should experience different parts of life. And I feel like just throwing your child into college without having them experience that all their life is kind of like just eye-opening and just like taking a step back. Whereas in public school, that they're used to that because they go to even though I know some public schools are kind of like, you have your majority of like Caucasians or your majority of African American public schools, but I mean it's still a good diverse though. And then the other one's like learning how to function in a multicultural environment. It kind of just falls under like diverse as well. And for the fourth question of how does your choice of kindergarten address the things you consider important in your education of your child? And I said it meets all the criteria kind of that I would want my child to be in, because I know that other all the other private schools like Montessori, the Reggio Emilia, I think I'm saying that right, I hope I am. I know those are on the Waldorf, yes. And I know those three are like very exceptional. I know they kind of like focus more on like arts and like the imagination, or some of them do the imagination of letting your child decide their education, letting them be more free, whereas excuse me, whereas public school, it's kind of just like sit in the desk, like raise your hand and go to the bathroom, whereas in private schools, as in those like Montessori, like you don't really have to raise your hand and be like, can I go to the bathroom please, and like be scared to ask. But I feel like public school, it kind of, the good outweighs the bad, because I know public schools can have a bad rep and maybe not be understood some ways, but I feel like public schools is just it's a good social environment also, because then again, it's diverse, and it helps people come out of their shell, because I used to be very shy in elementary school and stuff like that, and then public school kind of like got it out of me, because I had to talk to people, I had to communicate with my teachers and students as well. So my choice of public school is the one I'm sticking with, and I feel it will be a great choice for my child to be in kindergarten in.